Did you know that your brain is constantly changing? It's true. 40 years of neuroscience research has found that our central nervous system, which is made up of our brain and spinal cord, is continuously adapting to our environment. These changes are due either to an increased sensory input being sent to our brain from our body, like when we're learning a new skill, or decreased input, which is due to the lack of movement within the spine. Every second of every day, your brain is continuously monitoring and integrating all the information that it receives from the body. It's this integration of information that allows our brain to accurately formulate and execute the commands that it gives the body. The changes that occur within the central nervous system can happen rapidly, within minutes to hours, as with a traumatic injury, or over longer periods of time, like with improper movements, and those occur over a lifetime. So let's talk about how your brain changes, or what's called neuroplasticity. A good place to start is to briefly talk about how our brain cells communicate with each other. Now, these nerves typically talk to each other across a small gap between the nerve cells called synapses. Our brain has the ability to turn on or off this communication between the neurons like a volume dial on a radio, and these changes happen really fast. In addition to controlling the conversations between the neurons, the brain also has the ability to grow new connections. However, this takes a little bit longer. The changes that take place in the brain involve actual changes in the structure and function of the brain's nerve cells, which impacts how they interact with each other. These changes are the reason that we're able to learn new things and can also cause us to experience things like chronic pain. So your brain and nervous system is brilliant. Research has shown that our brain can actually learn to experience pain in an effort to protect us. So say, for example, that you have chronic elbow pain. There may no longer be any sort of tissue damage and no pain neurons firing to the brain, despite the fact that you feel pain. Now, that elbow problem can be purely driven by the brain itself. The brain may have decided that you have an elbow problem, so it's going to make sure that you feel pain constantly in an effort to protect that elbow. Now, this can happen just like the brain learns anything else. It's considered maladaptive in this case because it causes pain and disability. What's really important to understand, knowing what we know now about pain being created in the brain, that if the brain thinks there's a problem, this has very important implications for the recovery of anyone who's in pain. For example, a person may think that their chronic neck pain is a sign that there's something wrong with their neck. However, they might be wrong. Often with chronic pain, there's commonly nothing wrong with the body part that hurts. And this is because the brain has learned to be in pain in an effort to protect you. What's really important to mention here is this is something that we're not even conscious of. And the pain that people suffer is very, very real. But it can often be something that your brain has created for you. So interestingly and luckily, there is a lot that you can do to help in your recovery. Like we talked about, those neuroplastic changes in our brain that can lead to chronic pain. Again, these are also what allow us to learn new skills and habits by forming new connections between the cells in our brain. Now, there's several things that you can do to retrain your brain, and they include things like staying active, staying positive, eating well, sleeping well, and seeing your chiropractor to keep that brain-body connection as accurate as possible. This helps keep your brain able to accurately know what's going on in the world in and around you, and may actually help your brain to switch off feelings of pain when they're no longer needed. If you're wanting to learn more about the benefits of chiropractic care, please be sure to follow us on social media and on here, and check out our website at drnikkideering.com.